Hello class, my name is Professor Meeks, and today I'm taking you through our solar system, including some of our favorite moons, or at least my favorite moons. The other moons don't matter, not really. I mean, maybe they matter, but not today! Everyone, please take your notes out, and we'll begin. So first up in our solar system, we have the beautiful planet of Mercury. The closest planet to the sun. It's also the smallest planet in our solar system. It takes 88 Earth days to revolve around the sun, and it takes 58 Earth days to rotate once. So its day lasts 58 Earth days. So it moves very, very slowly. It is also a terrestrial planet, meaning that it's not made up of gases or liquids. It's made up of rock. And it also has a thin atmosphere, so it's mostly made up of a nitrogen atmosphere, but it's really, really thin, so we'd never be able to breathe on Mercury, but that's alright, because it also has a small magnetic field. Now, I'd like to say something down. You'll need to write this down, because I didn't write it on the slide, but this small magnetic field has been pondered on by scientists, because to have a magnetic field, you need speed, and you need metal. Alright, and the thing is, because Mercury spins so slowly, as you can see, it takes 58 Earth days to rotate once, so it spins extremely slowly. It rotates very, very slowly. And so what that means, scientists have pondered about it, and what that means is that it's theorized that Mercury is made up almost entirely of a metal core, meaning not like the small metal core we have here on Earth, no. But the entire thing is metal with a thin rock crust that we see on the outside. So imagine like 98% of this thing is metal all over in the center, and the very outside crust, the little sliver small crust, that's the rock that we see. Mercury is also not the hottest, although it is the closest to the sun. It's not the hottest planet in our solar system. It also it does not, like, it has two sides of it. So basically it has a hot side and a cool side because it spins super, super slowly. So basically the hot side of Mercury can get up to 600 degrees Fahrenheit. Sorry for the people who aren't American. And on its dark side, as they call it, it can get up to negative 300 degrees Fahrenheit at the same time. So literally, like, if you stand on one side of Mercury, you'll burn up into a crisp. On the other side, you'll be frozen into like a cryo chamber. So that's really fun. And happening at the same time, which is really, really cool. Named after the singer Freddie Mercury, who is known for having a good mustache and playing for some unknown band. Queen, was it? Yes. We all know this. Next, we have beautiful Venus. This planet is known as Earth's dark twin, and if you let me speak a little about it, you'll find why. So, it takes 224.7 Earth days to revolve around the sun, and it only takes 243 Earth days to rotate once. So, with Venus, its day is longer than its year. So that is really, really interesting. It spins even slower than Mercury does. It's also a terrestrial planet, which you might not really get by seeing the surface of it, but that's because it has a super thick atmosphere comprised of carbon dioxide and sulfuric acid, which make up its clouds. And those gases are greenhouse gases, which means that all that heat that Venus is getting from the sun gets trapped inside Venus. And that means that Venus is the hottest planet in our solar system, clocking in at around 860 degrees Fahrenheit on average. This music is too intense for this. This music is too intense. I thought it was going to be chill. This music's too intense. Okay, that's fine. I couldn't focus. It was stressing me out. Okay. Oh, okay. Now, it also spins clockwise. Now, I know that might not mean a lot to you guys, right? But hear me out. Ready? So every planet in our solar system spins counterclockwise, all right? And technically so does Venus, but here's why it spins clockwise. You might be thinking, Hope-A-Meeks, I thought you said Triton, one of Neptune's moons, was the only thing in the solar system to turn the opposite way of everything else. And let me tell you, that's still true because Venus is actually upside down. its axis is upside down. It's the wrong way around. So really, it does spin counterclockwise. It's just upside down, so it looks like it spins clockwise. All right. Very, very funny, Nebu. Next, we have our home planet. Oh, Earth, a beauty. Earth is the only planet, as far as we know, that contains life. Our axis tilts at 23.5 degrees. Also, Earth is not perfectly round. It's actually larger near like the equator. It bulges out towards there. And actually, most planets are actually not round because of, you know, how quickly they spin versus how long it like far it takes them to like go around the sun and the distance from the sun. So all that factors into a planet's roundness, and Earth is not a perfectly round planet. We're not perfect, guys. We're not perfect, and that's okay. Also, Earth has Earth receives solar storms from the sun, right? And it sends out clouds of electrically charged particles that get caught in our magnetic fields. And you might be wondering, Meeks, what does this have to do with Earth? Like, you're talking about the sun here. The sun has solar storms, and it sends out these clouds to Earth, and it gets caught in our magnetic field. So what? Well, that is actually what causes the aurora borealis, also known as the northern lights. All right, those, you know, solar storms from the sun passing over our magnetic field into our atmosphere slightly cause our beautiful northern lights that we get to see year-round. Earth also only has one moon, our precious, precious moon, named the Moon, literally, capital M. Just like how our sun is labeled with a capital S. I've been to Earth, I think, before. Terrible place, 0 to do not recommend. Never heard of this one. Okay, alright, class. Alright, class, settle down, settle down. Now onto one of my favorite planets. Kind of my favorite, really. A secret lover of mine, really. Not lover, sorry, I meant a secret love. Well, I wouldn't want to... Anyways, Mars! Also known as the red planet. So Mars, for Mars, it takes 687 Earth days to revolve around the sun, and it takes 24.6 Earth hours to rotate once. So really, really close to Earth, which is very, very interesting. Although Mars is a lot smaller than Earth, but very, very close in there. It's also like the planet that if we were to ever have to move planets, it's probably the planet that we would go to for sanctuary. If, like, for example, the sun was dying and we had to leave. It's also a terrestrial planet, again, made up of rock. And it's actually, its soil, the reason why it's called the red planet, the reason why it gets that beautiful, beautiful red color on it, is actually, its soil is actually rusted iron. Because of its atmosphere, it turns the metal soil into rust. So super, super interesting. It also has a very thin atmosphere, I believe made of nitrogen. And Mars is actually really cool. And a lot like Earth, it has seasons, volcanoes, and canyons. In fact, Mars has a very interesting volcano and canyon specifically. Mars has a volcano that is larger, okay? It is the height of one Mount Everest, on top of one Mount Everest, on top of another Mount Everest. It is the full height of 3 Mount Everests, people. It's a huge volcano on Mars's surface, all right? And it also has a huge canyon that you can actually see on this side here. This is the canyon that actually spans, like this canyon, you know how like we have the Grand Canyon here in America? This canyon is the length of the United States. This canyon is a continent wide. It's huge, which is awesome. It also has 2 moons, and its 2 moons are actually named after Greek gods that mean like fear and demise, I think. It's kind of funny, but yeah. Boom! Also, but fun fact, Mars's days are actually referred to as sols, referring to solar days. So like, you know, so it's like, oh, you wouldn't say you know, I spent 3 days on Mars, you'd be like, oh, I spent 3 sols on Mars. So super, super interesting and fun. It's kind of cute that they made up their own, but that NASA was like, oh, let's make up their own day name. The planet was named after me, by the way. So true, Mars. So true. Thought it was made out of the chocolate bars when I got their air bit into it and tasted nothing like it. So I'm suing the company that made the planet due to false advertisement, but better than Earth, 2 out of 10. Oh, dude, that's big. Yeah, it's huge. But now, done with Mars, we're on to Jupiter, our big boy. So Jupiter is the largest planet in the solar system. Okay, it takes 12 Earth years to revolve around the sun. Woo! Sheesh. And it also rotates, its day lasts 10 Earth hours, so it actually spins faster than Earth does, but it takes longer to revolve around the sun. Its atmosphere is comprised of hydrogen and helium, although not how you might be thinking, right? So these next 4 planets are often referred to as gas giants, but really gases that are liquids. So it like the atmosphere on Jupiter is comprised of gases, right? Hydrogen, helium, but they're in liquid form because of the intense pressure on the planet, as well as the intense temperature on the planet. So hydrogen and helium are actually in their liquid forms here. And its base, because technically it doesn't have a surface, right? Its base of Jupiter, its composition is comprised of frozen clouds of ammonia and water. Now this, you might be hearing me say this and you might be thinking, but Meeks, frozen water? That's ice. Oh, no. I mean frozen water. There is such a thing, get ready, as different numbered waters, okay? Specifically, Jupiter contains water 7, okay? Water 7! It's water, but it's ice. It's frozen water that is not ice. It's like iced water, but it's not ice. It's water 7. Mind blown. Also, frozen ammonia as well. Like iced ammonia that is not a solid. It is a liquid. It's water, but it's 7. Yeah. But Meeks, isn't that just ice? No. Just like how I said, Nibble. I didn't think there would be this kind of streaming content, but I'm usually wrong. Sleepy Coffin, you'll find that I'm not like other streamers. Jupiter also has its Great Red Spot that has been ongoing for about 300 years, or at least we have been observing the red spot for 300 years. So the storms on Jupiter actually can last hundreds of years because there's nothing to stop it. They're forever going, you know? So they take an extremely long time to like simmer out. And in fact, winds on Jupiter can reach up to 335 miles per hour. Also, Jupiter has 80 known moons. There could be more moons around Jupiter and surrounding it, but as far as we know, as far as we can see and discover, there has been 80 so far, with only about like 50 being named. The other ones have yet to be named still. Side note, I love this. Thank you. No problem, Sammy. No problem. All right, next up we have beautiful Saturn. So Saturn has the largest rings in the solar system. Oh yes, you might have been thinking, but Meeks, isn't Saturn the only planet with rings? Oh, young pupil. Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune all have rings, which is very, very interesting, but Saturn's are just the most noticeable and the largest, all right? I believe Saturn actually has 7 different rings. Now, you might be looking at Saturn and you're thinking, oh, but that's just 1 ring. Technically, there's 7 due to gaps between the rings, all right? That's where you see those, like, black rims around through the rings. So Saturn takes 29 Earth years to revolve around the sun. Sheesh. And it takes 10.3 Earth hours to rotate once. So, again, day shorter than Earth, but it's longer than Jupiter. So right now Jupiter has the quickest day. The atmosphere on Saturn is comprised of, again, hydrogen, helium, but again in their liquid forms. This is not, it's liquid gas, guys. Very, very interesting. And the base of Saturn is also comprised, okay, now I'm gonna be honest. When I discovered this fact, I literally had to copy and paste from the website because there was no other way to explain this next fact, okay? The composition of Saturn. I'm gonna turn off the music because I can't even think. Ready for this? Guys, are you ready for me to explain this? Saturn is comprised of iron and nickel, surrounded by rocky material and other elements, solidified by intense pressure and heat, enveloped by liquid metallic hydrogen inside of a layer of liquid hydrogen. Now, when I found this, I said to myself, I can't phrase it any other way. There's no other way I can say this to have it be easily understood better. It is just like liquid metal, which is iron and nickel, surrounded by solid rock that is super hot but still solid, enveloped by solid and liquid gas, which is like liquid metallic hydrogen, right? So it's a liquid metal, but it's also a gas, all encompassed by a layer of liquid gas, which is liquid hydrogen. I can't make this stuff up, guys. I really can't. It's so extra, but that's way too many words. I know. Saturn is too much of a flexer, like these influencers on Insta, therefore they probably have a bad attitude, so in that case, they're a 10. Yeah, I mean, crazy. Also, Saturn also has 83 known moons. Again, there could be more out there. Also, I believe only like about 60 of them have been named, so that other 23 still have yet to like be addressed and named as such. Now move on to Uranus. No laughing, kiddos. No laughing, students. All right? So Uranus is super interesting. It's the only planet to spin on its side. Very interesting. All right? It takes 84 Earth years to revolve around the sun. Oh my gosh, that's someone's entire lifetime. That's huge. But it just takes 17 Earth hours to rotate once. So its day is shorter than our day. And again, the time it takes to rotate fully, to revolve fully around the sun is someone's entire life. So, wow. Its atmosphere is comprised of molecular hydrogen and atomic helium. I couldn't even tell you what that is. Again, just like insane levels of like pressuring air and gases to form them into like other structures. It's insane. It's insanity. And its base is actually comprised of frozen water, again, not ice, but frozen water, methane and ammonia with a rocky core. Okay, so this Uranus is actually known as an ice giant. It's actually not fully comprised of gas like Saturn and Jupiter are. That's a common misconception. We're often taught in schools that the first 4 planets are terrestrial planets and the last 4 planets are all gas giants. But that's actually not true. Only Jupiter and Saturn are made of gases, really. And Uranus and Neptune are actually known as ice giants because they do have rocky centers, but they're mostly made up of ice and with like small minerals within them. Greatest planet I've ever been to, even a better name. Great people, great food. It's greatest 100 out of 10 goat of the universe. Real. Uranus is lovely. This time of year. Also, Uranus has 13 known rings, and the rings are actually, vertical. So because it's on its side, the rings are vertical, right? There's 13 of them, and they're really thin. And the thing is, you can't really see them very well. That's also why they're not very visible in this image. But interesting fact about the rings is that the closer the rings are to Uranus, the darker the color they are. And then the farther away they are, they actually span in very beautiful, vibrant colors. So I thought that was very interesting. If you look at like a one of those like heat patterns of like a picture of Uranus, it's like heat. It actually shows the color. So very interesting. It also has 27 known moons. So good job, Uranus. Love that blue shade. Sounds so pretty. Yeah. So I feel like it's like the awkward cousin of the planets, but Uranus deserves some love. All right, Neptune. All right. So this is the only planet in our solar system not visible to the naked eye. So super far away, aka. It takes 165 Earth years to revolve around the sun, and it takes 19 Earth hours to rotate once in a day. So yeah, so again, short, like it's super interesting how a lot of, like, all of the planets that are like huge and take super long to rotate around the sun, their days are way shorter than ours. Its atmosphere, again, is comprised of mostly hydrogen, helium, and methane. Again, these are in liquid forms. And its base is comprised of, again, frozen water, methane, and ammonia with a rocky core. Again, it's an ice giant. It's the same type of thing, but it is a darker blue. That's why Neptune and Uranus are both blue tints, because of all that ice. It also has 5 known rings and 4 ring arcs. So it does have 5 rings and then 4 forming. They're like 4 of the rings are still like forming, right? So technically in all it has 9 rings, but 4 of them are not like fully rings yet. Also it has 14 known moons, and we will be talking about at least one of them today. All right, now on to our coulda, shoulda, woulda planet, Pluto, my beloved. So Pluto is actually really small. It's only about half as wide as the United States. So it's insanely small, actually. So like I did not know how small it was, but like it's like about like 2/3 of the United States, which is not big at all. It takes 248 Earth years to revolve around the sun. Also, its pattern when it revolves around the sun is actually an oval. It's not a full circle, and it also crossed paths with Neptune at some point during the revolution around the sun. And it takes 153 Earth hours to rotate once. So this planet is actually super slow, rotates way slow. Its atmosphere is comprised of nitrogen, methane, and carbon dioxide. And it has a base that is comprised of a rocky core with a layer of ice water over top of it. So it's actually a terrestrial planet. It's mostly made up of rock. Well, I guess it could be called a rock ice, not giant. mini planet. And it also has 5 moons, which, wow, good for you, Pluto. And it was discovered and named a planet on February 1930. And then it was then removed as a planet in August of 2006. So it was considered a planet for 75 years. That's insane. Pluto deserved better. Hashtag justice for Pluto. I can't believe this. I'm depressed. Now we move into the dwarf planets, everyone. First dwarf planet we have is Eris. So this planet, a dwarf planet, actually caused the definition of a planet to be changed. So they discovered Pluto, and then they discovered Eris, and then they said to themselves, wait a minute, is Eris bigger than Pluto? ? Hold on now. And so they originally were worried that they would have to, they were trying to see if it was actually another planet. But then people got stressed out, and so they were like, no. You need to define the definition of a planet better so we can figure this ish out, because there's a lot of other things out here that we're concerned about. Also, hi, King Saw, welcome. Welcome to the welcome. Sorry, love the oval one. Yeah. Don't worry, we'll get to that. Speaking of the oval one, actually, going into Haumea. And I love Haumea as a dwarf planet because it's kind of cute. That is the oval picture you see. So Haumea is one of the fastest rotating large objects in our solar system. Its day lasts 4 hours. It can fully rotate in 4 hours, and that is why it looks like a disk. So it rotates so quickly, so fast, that it actually formed itself into a disk because of how fast it spins. So that is why it looks like a little bit of an egg. Next we have Makemake. Love that color. It is the second brightest object in the Kuiper belt. So all of these dwarf planets, including Pluto, belong to the Kuiper belt, which is the outermost belt. You know, the the asteroid belt, which happens between Mars and Jupiter, right? But then there's the Kuiper belt, which is after Neptune, and it involves Pluto and all of these other dwarf planets. And it also just has a ton of asteroids within it. Second brightest, meaning that the brightest is Pluto, by the way. Now you have Ceres. So Ceres was once considered an asteroid as it lives in the asteroid belts. So this planet, or dwarf planet, lives between Mars and Jupiter, right? And so it was once thought as an asteroid, and it's actually the largest, it was considered the largest asteroid in the asteroid belt, but then scientists looked a bit more, and they said, nah. Let's, it's a planet, it's like a dwarf planet for sure. So they changed it to a dwarf planet, and now it is the only dwarf planet to exist inside the asteroid belt. Now we have the best moons, all right? Hashtag egg has its own planet. This is better. This is better too far now. This is getting too far now. Yeah. Hamia is hashtag egg real. So the moon. So first we have the moon, which is our moon, Earth's moon. So, some facts about it. It is slowly drifting away from Earth. It moves about 2 centimeters away from Earth, every year. There is actually water on the moon. Which there has been discovered water on the moon, which is awesome. Yay, moon, good for you. It's staying hydrated, guys, as should you. Remember to drink your water. And we always see the same side of the moon. So the Earth, it takes the Earth the same amount of days to revolve around the Earth. It takes the moon the same amount of days to revolve around the Earth as it does to rotate. So basically what that means is that as the moon goes around the Earth, it is slowly rotating, right? But because it takes the same amount of time for it to rotate once and revolve once around the Earth, we only ever see one side of the moon. So that's why there is the expression, the dark side of the moon, right? It's the side that we never get to see. Next we have Phobos. So this is actually one of Mars's moons, name meaning fear, again taken from Greek mythology. Due to Mars's gravity, it is believed that it is being slowly pulled apart. So it's actually kind of close to Mars, and because of that, it's like, as you can see, it looks a bit rough. You know, it's getting a bit rough. And Mars's gravity is actually pulling Phobos apart. So soon it'll probably be extremely misshapen and then combust. Anyways, yeah. That's my moon. Ooh, take better care of it, Mars. That's so sad, yeah. But it'll probably take hundreds of thousands of years to do. So, excruciating pain is what I'm saying. That is. Next is Ganymede. So this is actually one of Jupiter's moons. It's actually known as one of the Galilean moons. Galileo, who was an astronomer, for those of you who don't know, discovered 4 moons. Ganymede was one of them. It is the largest moon in the solar system, and it is the only moon that we know of today that has a magnetic field. And Ganymede has been one of the moons that we have been looking at, Earth has been looking at, as a possible habitable place if we need to move farther in the solar system for safety. Once the sun, expands and dies and kills us all. Next we have Io, another one of the Galilean moons that Galileo discovered. So Galileo, is subjected to tremendous gravitational force because it is very, very close to Jupiter. And that causes it to be the most volcanically active body in the solar system. It has hundreds to thousands of volcanoes actively going off all of the time, and they can reach up to like 300 feet in the air. It's insane. And that's why it looks very toxic and mutated in color. It's because there's so much volcanic activity that it actually, one, distorts the surface of the moon, but it also just it's rough over there, really. It looks kind of like moldy cheese. Blech. But next we move on to the best moons part 2, all right? First up we have Titan, right? So this is Saturn's largest moon. It has a water cycle and a thick atmosphere. It is another one of the moons that we are actually looking at to inhabit. Again, if we have to move further into the solar system for safety from our exploding sun that will die in a few 100,000 years. And again, kill us all. So, shout out Titan! It actually looks very, very lovely. And because of that thick atmosphere in photos, it has a beautiful aurora around it. So that's very, very nice to see. Iapetus is another moon. I believe it is one of Jupiter's moons. Or, no. I'm wrong. It's one of Saturn's moons, my bad. Iapetus is also known as the yin and yang moon due to half of the moon being covered in dark red dust that can't catch much light. So as you can see, that is like the picture that looks like a, you know, it looks like a bit of a, I don't even know how to describe it. Like chocolate dust layered over like, you know, vanilla frosting on a cake. That's kind of what it looks like. So basically, like the other side of this moon is completely filled with like these like dark, brownish reddish spots. And what it is that when it follows its path around Saturn, another planet actually, is like dropping debris in space. And this moon, Iapetus, actually catches that debris. It falls on the planet, catches it, and it sticks to the planet. And what happens is all of the dark spots receive a lot, like get really, really hot from the sun, from the heat of the sun, okay? And the white areas stay very, very extremely cold. All right, and so what that means is that when you look at it through a telescope, this moon actually appears darker on the dark spots and brighter on the white spots. And I believe it's like, because this snow isn't like normal snow, right? It's kind of like Water 7, but it's not Water 7. It's frozen whatevers. And so what happens is that when these hot spots get really, really hot, the cold areas actually move away from the hot spots. So it's kind of, yeah, it's really, really cool, basically. I didn't know this moon existed, and now I know it existed, and that's really, really interesting to me. Next we have Triton! Triton! Guys, claps in chat for Triton. We love Triton. Triton, our beloved. Triton, our beloved! Best moon, Triton! I'm not biased. So Triton is the only object in our solar system to be right side up and spin clockwise. As I said before, Uranus and Venus spin in different ways in the rest of the solar system, but it's because they're turned. But Triton is right side up, and it turns clockwise, baby! It doesn't spin counterclockwise like the rest of these schmoozers. Triton's different. Be like Triton. Triton's original. Triton is independent. It also has cryovolcanic activity. So Triton, again, one of Neptune's moons, is so cold. It's so cold that it has volcanoes on it, right? But it's so cold and the atmosphere is so dense that instead of having volcanoes that expunge like hot liquid, like lava, magma, whatever, it has geysers of ice that explode. So it has ice volcanoes, but it's hyper ice, you know? So it's cryo, boom, because it's weird ice water. It's frozen water, but not ice. So very, very cool. And last, but certainly not least, we have Charon. Shout out to Charon. Charon is the largest known satellite relative to its parent. Okay, that sentence might be confusing to some of you. I do not mean satellite as in the satellites around Earth that we have placed there to like make us be able to like have Wi-Fi. Satellite is a word used as like in reference to a body that rotates around another body, right? It is within the gravitational pull of another body, right? So satellite in this sentence just means that like it is an object that rotates around another object. In this case, Pluto, right? This is one of Pluto's moons, all right? It is about the same size as Pluto, okay? It is extremely close in size to Pluto. And because of that, because it is you know, again, largest known satellite relative to its parent, that means it's nearly as big as Pluto, which we don't have any other, you know, moons for. Like we don't have any other moons in our solar system that are as big as another planet other than these two. Because of their extreme similarity in scale, many scientists believe that they are actually in dual orbits with each other. So rather than Charon being a moon of Pluto, many people believe that Pluto and Charon orbit each other. They have dual orbits, also known as twin orbiting. And many objects in our solar system do this. Well, not in our solar system, but many objects in space do this. There are, in fact, 2 red giant suns that also are about the same size and rotate around each other. But this is one of the cases in our solar system that we believe to be true, but also many people also don't believe it to be true because they're like, no, Sharon is at the moon, you know, so whatever. So it's considered a moon, even though, like, low-key, guys, low-key. It's a dwarf planet, we all know it, and Pluto's a planet, we all know it. Anyways, guys, sadly, that is all I have for you today. That is all I have for you. Only about a class's worth of content. Yeah. Oh, I didn't read chat during the Triton stuff. I just see so much like Triton, my beloved A, my lad. Yeah, Triton does do the impossible. Triton's a real one. But yeah, guys, that is all I have for you today. So now, what more? I know you want more, but I didn't have enough time to do more. I was originally gonna do best suns and best constellations, but that'll have to be a next time. You know what? It'll be good next time. But here's the thing. Oh, no problem, Sammy. This has been very, very fun for me. But here's the thing, guys. Ready? So I'm gonna go back to the first slide, so we have a little. Okay, so now this is gonna be questions. Question time. All right, guys. Who has? Thank you for the presentation, Professor Meeks. No problem, students. Guys, super fun. Thank you. All right, guys. So please feel free to ask me your questions. Do you have any questions? Does anyone have any questions on the information that we've looked at today? Do you have any extra information? I had 10 prep general questions. Bro, I hope I can answer them. I hope I can answer them. This makes it even harder to believe when you say you're not a teacher, Meeks. Get out of here. Stop teacher truthing me, all right? Did you guys know that I was voted most likely to become a teacher in middle school? And by the way, to make this clear for you guys, my mom is a teacher, IRL. And since I was young, she's always told me to never become a teacher. So I'm never becoming a teacher because she's told me never to become a teacher. From the source, I feel like that's good advice. But yeah, guys, so feel free to type me questions in chat. And I'll try to answer the best of my abilities, you know? Oh, wait, maybe I should have like a... Or maybe I should have... Wait, hold on, wait. Maybe I should have a... Questions? Boom, there it is. Not all my questions... Not all are relevant to today's lesson, but most are just opinions. Okay, yeah, sure. Shoot. I'm ready. I'm ready to fail at answering these important questions that you have. I'm so scared that one of you guys is gonna ask a question that's like a legitimate question, and I'm not gonna know the answer, and I'm gonna be like floundering. Favorite constellation? My favorite constellation is probably the Big Dipper. I do like the Big Dipper. Ever since I was a child, I like also Little Dipper is always also a classic. Little Dipper, Big Dipper, also like very, very. I like those. I also enjoy Orion. Orion's chill. Is Mars the best? Yes or yes? I think that like my favorite. To be honest, I think that my favorite planet is Mars. I'm trying to think. Yeah, I think it is. I if Pluto was factually a planet, then it'd be Pluto probably. But I really love Mars as a planet. So, yeah. I like finding that one in the sky. My favorite is Lyra. Oh, very nice. Let's go. Oh, Mars, you. Yeah, good answer. Good answer! I feel like I'm on Family Feud. Good answer! Today I won. Anything growing up in particular that sparked an interest in astronomy / something within the subject? Not particularly. I think it's just, my dad is kind of he likes looking at stars and space and stuff like that. But I think it all sparked from a moment of trauma. It all sparked from a moment when I was in 1st grade. And my teacher was like, all right, guys. So what are rare things that we don't often see in space, right? And everyone's raising their hands, answering the question. And I raise my hand. My teacher says, yes, Meeks. And I say, a shooting star. Because I had never seen one. To this day, I've never seen a shooting star in person. And my teacher goes, actually, shooting stars are really common. And I felt so sad. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so depressed. I cannot go on. Apparently everybody's been seeing shooting stars. I just haven't. So yeah, I've never seen a shooting star. Because it was always like, you know, like you wish on a shooting star. And so I always had that dream as a kid, but like I was never able to see one. I've never seen a shooting star either. Yeah, I don't think they're that common. I've only seen one like once in my life. See? I feel I saw one recently. Okay, well. We had a lesson once explaining the meaning of constellation names. We learned the Lyra story, and I was like, that's so sad. I love it. Yeah, it's so I think that moment was me being like, all right. But then also, I think more recently, I had to and more recent, like why I've kind of like am into it recently and why I know a lot about it more so now is because I had to take a science class for my degree, and all of the stuff was like you know, chemistry, biology, and I was not about it. I was like, But then I saw astronomy being offered, and I was like, oh, I like space. I was like, I like astronomy. I think that's cool. And the thing is, in high school, I wanted to take an astronomy course. They offered an astronomy course at my high school, but my friend was like, no, that won't be fun. Take chemistry with me. And I did, and it's my biggest regret in high school because I didn't take and one of my friends actually took the astronomy course and was like, it's so fun, you should take it. And I was forever traumatized because I didn't take the astronomy course in high school. And so ever since then, I was like, no. And so when I got into college, I was like, I'm taking astronomy, no matter who's with me in that class, I'm taking it, and I'm gonna have a good time. And I took the class, and I'm not gonna lie, as an art major, I say this, it was probably the most fun class I've ever experienced. And I don't know why, but every day I came in and we just learned about space. It wasn't anything like we had to like review. We didn't have to like do any of that. There wasn't really any math, only basic addition and subtraction, which I really appreciated. All of it was just coming into class, sitting down, and listening to an hour lecture about planets and stars. And it was one of the most fun things. I don't even know how to explain it. I feel like that doesn't sound fun, but in the moment, it was so much fun because I love learning, okay? But a lot of school is not just learning. A lot of school is like taking information and then learning and like having to like learn it and do it over and over and over and over again, like repeating that over and over again in order to do it on a test, forgetting all of the information to learn more things. But all of this stuff was like cut up into like 3 categories. It was like Earth / the moon, okay, it's like, and weather and stuff, and then it was like all the planets in our solar system, and then it was stars. And so that was like really like I just got to learn about everything, and we had like a test after each sections, and I got like a 100% in that class, guys. My professor came in one day and was like, guys, the class average was a 70. That's so great. Because apparently in college science classes, it's really hard to like get like the average class score be above a C. And my class had that, and I was like, oh my gosh, that makes me really stressed out. And then I looked at my grade, and it was like 98, and I was like, oh my gosh! So I was just taking in all that information. I was taking in so much of that information because I just legitimately was interested, and so it was just really fun for me. Anyone who's not interested in astronomy, I feel like would not be their ballgame. But it was really fun for me. I knew people who struggled in that class, but for me, it was really fun. I just like learning information. I just like learning fun facts. It was so the whole class was just taking in information, which I love doing. I'm a little sponge, you know. Now let me recheck because I've just kind of talked. Favorite astronomical body? I love the moon. So do you just mean like favorite, like are you talking about just like anything in space? Like are you talking about like, are you specifically talking about like planets, stars, moons, or are you talking about like favorite thing in space, period? I started asking questions at any point. Oh, no. You're so good. I love questions. Not chemistry. My chemistry teacher was not great. Yeah. School wasn't always the best. Anything in space. Okay, cool. Anything in space. Honestly, my favorite thing in space. I think I have. Oh, hold on. Oh, this is hard. um. Okay, my favorite thing in space in general is probably Pluto. I really, really just enjoy Pluto. Following closely behind is Triton. Following closely behind is Mars. Following closely behind is actually no. No. I'm changing my order. Pluto. Okay, it goes Pluto, Triton, the Moon, Mars, the Earth, and then the Sun. I love Pluto. I'm a sucker for Pluto. I I relate to Pluto on a spiritual level. Being considered something for 75 years and then being kicked out of the club was we love an underdog. Exactly. That's what I mean. It's like Pluto's super cool. Yeah, it's like Pluto is just in my opinion like he got screwed over. You know what I mean? If I could personify Pluto and write an entire like fan fiction about Pluto and his hard life, I would. But yeah, that's probably my favorite astronomical body. What an interesting way to phrase that question. I love that. Whew. Anything in particular that amazes you about space? I like that we see stars in the past. Oh yeah, that's really cool. I love the fact that, okay, this might sound really stupid, but I love the fact that stars, like the color of stars, kind of work in opposite into how we think about heat. I feel like because we always see like red, yellow, orange fires, and what's interesting about space is that space defies our reality. Even though obviously we all know that blue flames are gonna be hotter than red flames, but in terms of the color of stars, which is burning balls of gas, I love the fact that there are red giants out there that are huge and they're like big boys and they're red and you're like, oh, those are scary, but it's like those are the least dangerous things in space because some of the most interesting things in space is flipping dying stars. Not stupid at all. I didn't know that. Oh, well, yeah. So the stars range from red to blue, and the cooler the color, the hotter it's burning. So blue stars are actually super, super hot. Yellow is about in the middle, along with green, and then red is like not very hot. So our sun is yellow and orange, and so our sun's about like medium temperature. And dying stars, okay, there's two types of dying stars, which are so. I love the prospect of a dying star. It's so interesting to me. So a dying star, again, we'll do another stream where I talk more in depth about stars. But when stars die, they can turn into one of two things. They can turn into a white dwarf or a black hole. Now, you might be thinking, Meeks, I know what a black hole is. What is a white dwarf? Well, a white dwarf is what happens when... So a star, when it is dying, it's running out of the fuel that is keeping it burning, right? Stars have like a set amount of fuel that they're using up in order to stay hot and continue to burn. When all of that runs out, sometimes what happens when a star dies is it starts to implode, right? So it gets smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller, and it turns white in color. So it gets really, really small and it turns white. And that's why it's called a white dwarf. And then it explodes. It goes. So it gets really, really, really small. And once it gets super, super, super small, it then explodes because it has nothing to hold on to anymore. And it dies. And sometimes it can also turn to a black hole. So instead of going in and then exploding, it just goes in and in and in and in. and then it forms a black hole, which then traps all of the light inside it. And the thing is, black holes are actually super, 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 super small. So the thing about a white dwarf is that it has that implosion, right? And then it disperses. It goes poof. And by the way, this explosion is not just like poof, right? It explodes and it destroys anything near it. Like, it's like if our sun turned into a white dwarf, it would destroy our entire solar system. It has ramifications, light years away. It's crazy, all right? But the thing about it is that at least it's exploding, okay? And it doesn't implode all the way. A black hole is just imploding. A black hole goes into a black hole, and the thing is, it doesn't stop when it gets really, really small, right? It doesn't. A white dwarf stops when it gets really, really small and then explodes. What happens when a star becomes a black hole is that it just keeps on imploding. It just keeps on going, and it never stops. And then it's a black hole, and then it sucks everything in. I always imagined black holes as big. Yes, okay, me too. When I took my astronomy course, I always thought, for my entire life, I was like, oh my gosh, black holes must be huge. Black holes are enormous masses. That's why they drag everything in. And it's not true. Black holes are actually extremely small. Black holes are insanely small, but their gravitational force, their pull, is so strong that it doesn't need to be big to pull things into it, which is crazy. It's like literally like it's so small but it's so powerful. And the thing is, it grabs everything in and it traps all of it, like light inside. Like light cannot escape it. Black holes are the destroying universes. Did you know that scientists theorize that the Milky Way galaxy, aka the galaxy that we live in, our galaxy, the scientists have theorized that our galaxy is just a black hole, and that's why it's swirling. The Milky Way galaxy, you know how it swirls? We think that there's a black hole in the middle of it. And that's why it looks like how it does, and why it looks like it's moving. Because eventually, in a few trillion, billion, zillion years, it's gonna suck the entire, that's why, it has, stars that look like it. It looks like it's, pulling stars. It's because it is pulling space, and that's why a lot of galaxies look like that. I'm scared of me some shaking my boots. No. We're gonna die way, way before we ever get pulled into this black hole. It isn't, it's not gonna happen right now or in the next billion years, right? If it ever happens, it'll probably be trillions upon trillions upon trillions upon trillions upon trillions of years into the future. We will not exist if that happens. New fear unlocked. It's super interesting. It's super interesting. I am super interested. Now let me read back the chat. Sorry, I was talking. We love subverting expectations. Yes. It's like Pokemon Evolutions, this or that edition. I love space. Why did I have so many Pokemon references in my notes? I always imagine black holes as big. Yeah. What channel do I put my notes in? I want to share with the class. You can put them in memes. You can put them in the memes channel. It's not really memes, but I'm allowing it this once. If I say it's okay, then it's okay. Speaking of that, anything that scares you in particular at space? I don't know, it's so unknown and unpredictable. I'm like, dang. Well, that scares me about space. I think the expansion of space is really scary because noise doesn't travel in space, sound does not travel. Space is a vacuum, right? And that's really scary because it's just nothingness with orbs all around it. So I think that kind of the scale of that is really intimidating to me, because when you really think about it, you kind of realize how small humans are, how small Earth is, how small the sun is in comparison to space and and galaxies and and the universe, and so that is super interesting to me. and scary at the same time, because it kind of really puts things into perspective, and putting things into perspective is scary in itself. Perspective is scary, and realizing how small and insignificant we seem is super intimidating to me, and so I think that's a little scary. The kind of theoretical, the kind of the mental image of that is scary. I'll also add in my PowerPoint, yes. Maybe you will? Yeah, what if I live? I'm gonna live forever. Yeah, I would live till then. What trillions of years? It's not that long. How do you feel about our technological advancements in regards to space? I love the recent pictures this year from the Space Telescope. We've come a long way. Yes, I've seen the Space Telescope pictures. If you haven't seen those, look them up. They're super, super cool. I think that the thing is that our technological advancements in regards to space, in my opinion, all right, I think that they're super cool and important, and I have mixed feelings about it, because on one hand, we are not making as many advancements as we were in the space race, and the only reason that we as humans were even making advancements to go into space was because of our competitiveness and our quest to conquer the moon, right? So I think I think that intention is really important. I think that when you're going to space, like, have a passion for it. Don't just do it because it's a political game. So that was really frustrating in the 1960s. But also, for me, my mixed feelings come with, like, on one hand, I'm like, after the space race ended, most countries, including America, which is where I'm from, so I'm coming at this from, like, an American point of view, stopped pursuing space as much. Like, they stopped putting money into it, they stopped investing in it, and they kind of just stopped observing for a lot of aspects of it. And so that was really frustrating, because I think space is super interesting, and I think it's something that we should know more about. And I know that they're actually testing using bombs on asteroids to see if we could, like, save Earth from, like, an Earth destroying asteroid. So I know they are doing tests on that. So, like, you know, we're doing some stuff, right? But I think that we could be doing more. That's one side of how I'm feeling. The other side of how I'm feeling is, why are we putting so much money into space when there are situations and problems on Earth that we should be using that money to be fixing? So that's how I kind of I have mixed feelings about it. I at the same time, like I want them to keep exploring space because it's interesting, and I think it's really, really cool, and I think it could open up some really interesting possibilities to our future as the human race. But at the same time, I also feel like, why are we looking at space when we need to figure out how to save Earth? Like, we need to figure out how to help our own planet. Like, why are we looking at other planets when our planet is suffering itself? So that's kind of my mixed feelings about it. I don't think I want to go more in depth into it, but yeah, I think that there are benefits and pushbacks to exploring space, and that, you know, no right answer. There is no right answer, and there is no one answer to that question. The planet those weird aliens sent me to was where those people were forehead protectors. Oh no, not Naruto, not the Naruto alien race. So I couldn't come to class. Aw, it's okay, Boom Junkie. I get it. It happens to the best of us. That brings me to my next question perfectly. Did you see the NASA project this year where they hit an asteroid to change its course and prep for a fatal scenario? I saw it live. It was wild. I didn't see it live. I did hear that they were doing it. I did not know that they already did it. But I did hear about it. And I thought it was, like, really, I think that was, like, a good use of time and effort and money. And I was like, wow, okay, awesome, because at least I think that that stuff is important. Like let's pursue space, and let's try to have it benefit Earth and humans as well. You know, there is knowledge to seek, and there is also precautions to take, and that, I think, is super interesting. And I think that that is phenomenal that we are actually, like, I feel like there's so much, like, drama around, like, chemical warfare and weapons, and it's like, we could be using these huge, powerful nukes rather than destroying the human race with them. You know, we could be doing we could be shooting asteroids. Which is like I hope that is what gets brought up when they're thinking that, like, if we ever have an asteroid that's coming to Earth and killing us, I hope that they're like, oh, let's use our most powerful weapon, because why wouldn't we, you know? So I think that, like, I don't know, I just had that idea when they were doing that. I was like, ooh, they should be using the weapons that we don't use now, because that would be so helpful. That, like, so, you know, I think, oh, you know, that might be a good idea to try. Although I don't know how. Actually, maybe they shouldn't try that, because I don't know the effects of chemical weapons in space that would then rain upon the atmosphere. So never mind about that. I don't know how that would work out, but that was a dumb idea. But knowledge and protection are the good side of the coin. Yes, I'm all for that. I'm all for knowledge. You know, anything to seek knowledge. I think humans, I think, love to seek knowledge. I think that's like super, like, a great part of humanity. So yeah. If you could go to space with our current technology, would you? I would not. I'm scared. I also don't think I would go. I think I would want to, and I think that if in the future they were ever to make a WALL-E scenario where they could bring people up into space and they like did that hundreds of times, then I'd buy a ticket to go to space, right? I'd be like, yes, you know, you've got it figured out. Boom, you've got a system. Let me go. But with our current technology, I don't think I'd feel very safe doing that. And also, I'd have to wear like a whole spacesuit. I'd have to eat like that dry ice food. I don't know. Listen, guys, I'm high maintenance. I would miss pizza rolls too much. You know what I mean? I would miss ketchup. You can't have ketchup in space. I'd be like, what? Also, like, I might get headaches, you know, so it's not like, with the stuff that we now know, but if they ever turn space into, like, a bougie affair, then I'm there. If they turn space into a bougie affair, I would go to space, but if, with our current technology, I would suffer. I would stress out. Listen, I went to camp once in my life for, like, a week, and as soon as my mom picked me up from camp, I flipping cried in her car. I hated it. I had so much anxiety. I can't do that. Hold on, let me get a water break. Okay. Related, but is there anything space related you'd like to see happen in your lifetime? Like bougie space time? Oh yeah, bougie space time would be awesome. I also, let me think. I guess more discoveries. I'd love to see more discoveries in my lifetime. I'd love to see, like, oh, discovering a new planet, or oh my gosh, discovery of a planet with life. That'd be so awesome to see. I think that there has to be a planet out there that contains life. I think that, you know, with infinite galaxies, well, not really infinite, you know, space does have an end, right? But technically, with infinite galaxies and you know, so many planets that have yet to be discovered, and so many existences that we don't know of, I'd love to exist in a time where we discover life on another planet. But I hope that if that ever happens, that we try not to take advantage of that life. I think that we would, and that scares me. I would rather, if we ever found life, I'd rather we kindly observe it, and rather than try to take advantage of it or try to claim it, right? Because that would be so many, like, it's like, haven't you conquered Earth? Like, stop trying to do that. Let, like, extraterrestrial beings live and stop interacting. Just be like, wow, life is discovered. That's really cool. We're gonna keep an eye on that, but we're not gonna touch it, you know? I want that to happen. So we were like, oh, that's cool. It exists. Now let's watch from afar, like a zoo. Well, not like a zoo. Ooh, no, that's a bad metaphor. Don't want zoos. No, because that's captivity. Ooh. Okay, never mind. Not about like an open zoo, like a safari, right? You're watching. You're in the little car. You're driving. You're like, oh wow, look, a zebra, and you move along. That's what I want. We'd be like, oh look, little space aliens. Oh. And we move on. You know, we get to see it. Cool, boom. Maybe get some pictures, but we don't mess with them. When we launched into space without a suit and just me, no rocket. That was also my answer. I want confirmation of, like, yes, I want to kiss an alien. Well, me too. Well, in Mass Effect, the video game, you too can kiss an alien. I don't want them hurting aliens. Yeah, me neither. In Mass Effect, there's an all-girls alien species. Yeah, for sure. I figured the most likely scenario would be confirmation, but probably no contact. Yeah, yeah. Lesbian aliens, cool. You have to use paper straws so as not to harm the aliens. Stop it! Stop it. Turtles are no joke, all right? The only dumb about the paper straw thing was that people decided, let's only make paper straws, but then keep the plastic lids and cups. That was what was messed up about that era in our lifetime, okay? That people banded together and said, no more plastic straws. But said yes to, okay, but our plastic cups and plastic lids are fine, though. And it's like, that's not fine. Why not cut off all plastic? Plastic doesn't decompose. Plastic stays around for generations. like plastic has like a shelf life of like way too long to comprehend. Why, like, anyways, sorry, I'm getting political and I need to stop getting political. Politics is not my area, guys. Don't sue me. Don't sue me. I'm not smart. Listen, I'm just a streamer. My favorite condiment is ketchup and I wear anime graphic t-shirts, all right? I am not someone to be looking up to for political advice. No. My last question I had prepped, is there any climate on another planet besides Earth that you'd like to be able to experience theoretically? I'd love to go to the ice or gaseous planets to see the rings. I think, you know what? One time in my middle school life, my teacher said that if we were to ever go to Mars, it'd be a little chilly, so we would need to bring a coat. So I don't know. But I feel like even though like Mars is really similar to Earth and like that would be like our best bet to save humanity if we had to move planets. I don't know why, but I love the prospect of going to Mars, literally chilling and existing the same way we would on Earth, but just having to wear jackets all the time. I don't know why. Like my teacher severely like, obviously we'd never be able to do that. We can't breathe the air on Mars. The atmosphere is too thin. And it doesn't have like enough. It doesn't have the right mixture of ingredients in the atmosphere to even be able to live. I don't even think it has oxygen on it. But for some reason, the little coat is fall. No, yeah, like she made it sound like, oh, it's just kind of winter over there all the time. And so in my head, I was like, oh my gosh, we could go to Mars and just wear little coats. And so I don't know why, but I'd love to be able to go to Mars and wear a coat and just breathe and just live my life wearing a little coat on Mars and just make a little farm. That's just my dream as a Floridian, being somewhere that requires a coat for a bit. Oh man. Yeah, but I guess Mars. I don't know. Jupiter, any gaseous planet seems really scary to me. Even theoretically, it seems scary to me because I'm like, there's no surface. I'd just be whirling around on there, and that scares me. So I don't know. Yeah, probably there or Venus, because Venus has such a toxic atmosphere that it would literally kill us instantly. But I think it'd be so interesting to go. I think it'd be so interesting to visit. I saw the 4 episodes that Miss Frizzle did about space. I saw those Magic School Bus episodes. I had the Mecha Pack. I remember having the Magic School Bus space DVD set that had the 4 space episodes on it, where they still referred to Pluto as a planet. And that was the life. That was the life, guys. I love little coats. Exactly. We could be a little more wearing cute little raincoats on Mars. Maybe a little fur on the hoods, and we'd be chilling. We'd be chilling, guys. That's what I'm saying. All right. Well, if anyone has any other questions, I'll answer. But if that is all, then that might be it, guys. Little cute 1-hour stream. But not a moment too soon. My throat is... I've talked a lot today. Also, I hope the Americans in chat are excited for Thanksgiving. Happy early Thanksgiving, guys. I don't know if I'll be streaming on Thursday because of Thanksgiving. I probably won't. But I'll try to make up that stream sometime soon. So yeah, so probably no stream on Thursday. In fact, I'll just say no stream on Thursday, and you'll just get a stream when you get a stream. Thank you for answering my questions. No problem. Also, so tomorrow, I said that I would live stream going to the Walmart and get Skittles, but I have a revision to that. So I still want to stream tomorrow to taste the lime Skittle. But the problem is that I'm really, really busy, and also like it's like it would stress me out so much to have a live stream going while I'm in Walmart. So, and you know, also like I feel like if like I'm gonna be by myself, if I had another friend there to like film me or something like that, I feel better about it. But I'm just going alone. So what I'm gonna do is tomorrow I'm gonna go to Walmart. I'm gonna buy Skittles. I'm gonna film it all, and then I'm just gonna play the video for you here, and then I'll live stream taste test the Skittles. And I think that that's a better plan. It's more structured, I think. And so that way, also, you're not wasting time watching my feet walk through Walmart. I don't think I have any questions, but this stream has fully lived up to my expectations. Yay! The stream was so fun. Yay! I'm super happy. I'm super happy you guys liked it. I stressed out trying to find interesting facts about it, because I was gonna get all the facts from my astronomy notebook that I took notes on back when I took astronomy, but I don't have my notebook in my new apartment, so I don't actually have it, and so I had to re-find all of the information on my own, and that's why it took me so long. Adore this, super fun. Thank you. Reminded me of like one of those viral PowerPoint friend nights. Oh my gosh, I want to do that so bad. I told my friends recently, I was like, guys, let's have like a PowerPoint night, and I had an idea that we would like put funny PowerPoint ideas in a hat and like for each other, and we'd pick them out, and we'd have to do that, and like we couldn't make up our own, you know, we made up each other's, and I think that'd be so much fun. Oh my gosh, yes, see, I think it made so much fun. Although I wouldn't like stream it or anything, because it would be filled with too many inside jokes. It'd be filled with too many inside jokes that I feel like you guys wouldn't understand. But I think that's so fun. You should do that with yours. I'm stealing that idea. Meeks, do it. Go ahead. Wait, I could do like a stream version of that. I could try to do like a stream version of it, where we I get my streamer friends together. Mars, you up for that idea? Mars, are you up for that? Streamer friends, random PowerPoints. That'd be really fun. Yes. Okay. Awesome. Great. I'll get the gang together. I'll message in the Discord. All right. I'll try to get that squared out then. But anywho, my throat hurts. I have been talking so much. Guys, thank you so much for watching. I super appreciate it, and I put a lot of work into this, so I really appreciate you guys enjoying it and all that stuff. Also, if you missed anything in the stream, feel free to watch back. It wasn't too long. I entered not knowing a lot about space and left knowing the world might be in a black hole. Yeah, you should look that up. It's actually a really interesting theory. I believe it just because it certainly looks that way. But yeah. Very interesting, very fun to think about. Also, it makes me feel better knowing that I won't be alive to suffer through being teared apart by a black hole. So that's really exciting. 5 weeks by chat. This stream is super fun. I love taking notes. Yeah, thank you. Oh yeah, guys, send your notes. Hold on, wait. Before you go, everybody send your notes in the memes channel. Thank you. Oh wow. Oh wow. Oh wow. There's a lot. Oh wow. There's a lot. Oh wow. Thank you. Wow. sorry. I just looked. Thanks, guys. Thank you so much. All right, guys, I super appreciate it. Remember, no stream on Thursday because that's Thanksgiving for me. Excuse me. But I hope you guys have a lovely Thanksgiving to all of you guys who celebrate it. To my non-Americans, have a good Thursday. Bye, Hope-A-Meeks. This is awesome. Thank you for the stream. No problem, guys. Thank you so much. Bye. Have lovely days or nights, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.